כל האומר דבר בשם אומרו, מביא גאולה לעולם.
Super yachts, to me, just seem like spending a ridiculous amount of money for a mediocre experience. The whole thing just sounds exhausting. It's got more or less the same ocean view for hours, if not days. Not much space to move around, and if you're prone to seasickness, it's mamish not geschmack. So honestly, I couldn't understand the obsession. I thought maybe this just isn't for me, but I couldn't wrap my head around why do people who can afford literally any experience keep on going for this? There has to be something I'm not getting. And then I stumbled on this interview with a yacht owner while he was out on a charter in the Caribbean. Psh, fancy guy. The interviewer asked him a basic question. What's the appeal? Why spend that kind of money on chartering your yacht? And his answer totally surprised me. He said, people assume I own a yacht just for the luxury or showing it off. But that's not it. I'd get bored of that relatively quickly. What really gets me doing this over and over is standing on something massive that's floating in the middle of the ocean. I understand the science, but knowing doesn't erase the wonder. It's like watching a huge plane lift off. The mechanics don't cancel the awe of a floating building. Every time I feel this, it feels almost miraculous. And so the sense of this wondrous reality somehow becomes gratitude. When I see that level of complexity, I don't just think about the human engineering. I think about God's kindness in letting me experience something like this. I take it as a reminder that I've been trusted with a purposeful life, and that helps me leave recharged. I go back to my everyday work with a renewed sense of purpose. It sends me back to my life more awake, more thankful, more motivated to actually do something worthwhile. So after hearing this interview, I realized this guy has figured out how to extract a sense of purpose out of the simple fact that he's floating on water. And I was very impressed, obviously very impressed. I also started kidding with my wife, calling our living room huge for a yacht. I would call our car a jet ski. It made everyday life feel lighter. It was like a mental perspective upgrade. And then mamish the same week, I find myself learning the Rambam on the brach of Reika haaretz al hamayim.
וזה לשונו הטהור והקדוש.
Every morning, when you get out of bed, we place our feet on the ground. Now think about what you're actually stepping onto. Beneath the seemingly solid ground we walk on, there are vast amounts of water. What a wondrous reality that is. It's fantastical. It's almost magical. And we take it completely for granted because we've been standing on it since we learned how to walk. And what became even clearer to me as I learned the Mefarshim on the Rambam is that we're not supposed to merely recognize this wondrous reality. We're supposed to recognize how profoundly we benefit from it. And that's really what the bracha does. It brings this reality back into our consciousness. It asks us for a moment to experience the ground beneath our feet not as something obvious, but as something wondrous. Here I am, standing upright, securely planted on this extraordinary platform Hashem has prepared for human life. Reika haaretz al hamayim.
עד כאן לשונו.
And then I realized this is exactly what the yacht owner was talking about. He gets onto a multi-million-dollar yacht, looks around and thinks, this enormous thing is sitting on water. Look at the conditions I've been given. Look at the world I'm privileged to experience. I better go do something meaningful with my life. So apparently, I've been walking up on a yacht my entire life. Now I just need to walk through my enormous yacht living room, get into my jet ski, which for some reason Toyota insists on calling a Corolla, and go stag away.
Thanks for watching, please subscribe and share. It's a mitzvah.